Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining this webinar in English and Chinese. To our dear parents from Harrow Appi, it's very good of you to join us this Friday evening.
各位家长晚上好。然后校长非常欢迎大家来参加今天的这个研讨会议，然后也希望大家可以在研讨会议上面收到自己想要了解的信息。
I know we have many familiar faces, many friends on the call, parents of Harrow Appi. I hope you know who I am. I'm your headmaster, Mick Farley. I have colleagues joining this evening for this webinar to our community. Head of Academics, Fraser Newham, Assistant Head, Pastoral, Nicola Bartram, David Fitzgerald, who leads on all the co-curricular activities. And we're going to try and give you a very detailed update on how things are going here in Harrow Appi.
我在今天的参会者的列表当中看到了很多我熟悉的名字，然后希望你们也知道我是这所学校的校长那我们今天的研讨会也邀请到了我的同事，然后呢像负责学校学术的Fraser 副校长，然后以及我们负责院舍舍监的 Nicola 老师和负责课外拓展活动的 David 老师，然后会今天为大家分享这3方面的一个信息。
I think if we move on, Judy, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 3 weeks into the adventure. It's 3 weeks since the commencement assembly and your sons, your daughters launched into their lives as Harrovians.
然后各位家长，现在呢，距离我们的开学到现在已经3周的一个时间了。
And moving on, I'm very proud of what's been accomplished as we've settled as a school with strong lessons now launched, the houses settling, activities have commenced, and the Harrow Appi experience, the introductory building of skills and an experience base for our students as we prepare for the first expeditions, what we call the autumn short X's.
在这3周的时间大家可以通过我们分享的这个照片看到学校有序的运营着，然后我们的课程正在这个逐步的去进行开展，然后以及院舍当中的学生们也在融入我们的这个全寄宿的生活，并且学生们也都开始在体验各种各样的一个哈罗的体验活动。
And if we move on, I was standing on that assembly stage in speech room, looking out last Wednesday morning at whole school assembly, at a school that's really feeling like it has a heart, really feeling already like it has an identity. There was a real sense, I believe, this week of the school settling into itself.
那下面分享的呢，就是学校的一个大的一个集合的一个照片然后我们所有的全校师生在周3的时候都在礼堂，然后我们大家都在一起去分享学校它的一个整体的一个情况。
Now we are mindful that you've taken a huge leap of faith in enrolling your daughter, your son in Harrow Appi. I'm talking to an audience that's very international. Some of you are here in Japan, some of you in mainland China, some of you elsewhere in the region, and you've entrusted your son, your daughter to us, knowing of the quality of the Harrow brand, but still perhaps not fully appreciating the approach we're taking to education. And I'm also very mindful you've handed your son, your daughter over to a full boarding experience. That's a big entrusting of your most valued, your daughter, your son, to us, the staff of Harrow Appi.
我很感谢就是各位家长，你们有来自海外的家长，有来自中国区域的，有来自日本的家长，可以给予到我以及我们学校的这样的一个信任，把孩子送到哈罗安比来读书。
And it's been an adventure. These 3 weeks, we have had many things that have gone extremely well. We've also had some big challenges to face. Many people on the call will know that we've had cases of COVID-19 in the school. If we move on one screen, actually, Judy, we've been not entirely pleased at times with our caterers, our kitchen and the mess. We've had some difficulties with connectivity and particularly students getting into the school's Wi-Fi system. We knew that there would be some challenges as we found our new school, and we've faced those challenges. But of course, that's created questions and some concerns amongst our parents. We have a responsibility to communicate openly and clearly to you. So we're joining you this evening, providing this webinar, the first of 3 weeks of webinars to try to answer your questions.
那在开学的这3周的时间啊，我们有一些工作啊，正在很顺利的进行当中。当然了，在创校的阶段呢，我们也面临了非常多的挑战。然后像我这边像已经收到了各位家长关于食堂的呀，关于新冠疫情的啊。等各种各样的一些问题，然后这个也是我们今天举办本次的研讨会议的一个想法，也是为了想为各位家长去解答近3周累积的一些关于学校的一个问题。
So the format for this evening, each senior manager of the school will give a quick update on what's been achieved within her or his area of responsibility. Areas they're particularly working on to improve. And then we want to hand over for a good half hour of questions coming in through you need to explain actually, Judy, through the chat function. Yes. So that's the format. We'll start with the presentations, but we want to give a good half hour for your questions.
那我们今天邀请到了负责学校3个板块的这个相应的负责人，然后他们今天会首先给到家长一个他们所负责的这个工作的一个最新的一个进展情况，然后以及我们还在哪些方面正在运营和改善当中，然后最后有一个30分钟的一个问答的一个环节，然后各位家长呢可以通过我们的这个 Zoom 研讨会的聊天或者是问答功能，然后向我们去留言和提问，然后如果30分钟之内没有回答到您问题的话呢，我们后续也会给到一个后续的一个回复的。
Thanks, Judy. So we'll pass now to Fraser Newham, Mr. Newham, our second master with responsibility for the academic programs of the school.
然后下面就邀请我们的学术副校长 Fraser 老师，然后为大家去分享学术方面的一个进展情况。
Well, thank you very much, Headmaster. Thank you, Judy. It is a great pleasure to be with you all here tonight. And it's a great pleasure to be speaking to you from beautiful Appi Cogen at the end of a very busy 3rd week in the life of our new school.
Fraser 老师说非常开心在哈罗安比跟大家去见面，然后呢，在这样的一个3周并且这一周也是一个非常忙碌的一周，然后来去为大家去分享一些关于学术的方面的更新的信息。
Harrow Appi is a big school with a big product. We're offering an awful lot to our pupils and to our families. Academics, learning and teaching are at the heart of that. They're incredibly important to us. We know that they're incredibly important to you as well.
我们知道在学术方面对我们的所有的哈罗家庭来说都是非常重要的。作为一所这个国际比较大型的这个国际学校我们整个学校也都是非常注重学术这一块的教学工作。
And I'm delighted. I'm delighted to see what a strong start we've been able to make. We have a very strong faculty of teachers. We have a fantastic group of enthusiastic students. And after only 3 weeks, it's just wonderful to walk the corridors of the school and see so much learning, so much enjoyment in that learning taking place in every corner of the school.
那我很高兴的说啊，我们学校有着这样一个非常强大的学术的团队，然后一群很有热情的学生，在经过了3周的学习，我这边啊也收到了很积极的一些学术上面的反馈。
Our lessons are going very well. We have established our academic clinics every day running after school to support students who need extra help. Our super-curricular program is up and running to provide extra challenge to pupils who want to go beyond the formal curriculum.
我们现在的课程啊都在有序的进行当中，并且在每天的第9个课程的时候呢，也会为到一些需要额外帮助的学生去提供第9门课。那同时啊，我们的超级课程项目也已经开设了，然后去帮助有一些学生想要去在学术上更进一步的学生可以去选择这个超级课程项目。
And I'm delighted with what a good job teachers and colleagues have done to get these important core elements established so quickly.
我也非常的开心，在开学3周的一个时间，我们的老师可以很好的去把这个课程框架给做出来，然后让学生去体验到一个哈罗标准的这样的一个课程。
And so, next slide, please, Judy.
Okay.
Thank you. There are, as the headmaster said, we've had some challenges in the very early days, which we're working to address.
那分享过了我们的更新信息的话，也想去为大家去分享一下我们目前正在改善的一些方面。
It took longer than we hoped to get all of our student body online, particularly with the added challenge of the pandemic. But I'm delighted that we have now achieved this.
那目前啊，我们正在去努力我们的这个数字化的教学的一个情况，也就是我们的线上课程。这在疫情当中啊，也是一个很大的一个挑战。然后呢，我们目前也正在努力去完善这个数字化的系统，然后来去在后面的时间帮助更多的学生。
We're also conscious that in boarding school life there are many important aspects of boarding school education which are new to a lot of our students, and for some of these things it takes time for them to get settled. Things like our prep homework routines, the huge amount of personalized support we have available for the students, the student understanding of who they can come to, where they can go to get help. These are things which we still need to keep pushing. We need a better understanding among the students of exactly what's there, and we will keep pushing.
那我们知道啊，在我们的大部分学生当中，全寄宿教育对于他们来讲都是一个很新的东西，所以对于他们来说，真的需要一段时间去进行磨合和融入。所以呢，学校现在也在，比如说这个作业方面，然后学生的个性化支持方面，然后去尽量去更多的去引导学生快速的去步入正轨，然后同时啊，也会去帮助学生。那他们有困难的时候去哪里去进行求助，然后鼓励他们去多跟老师去进行沟通。
I feel like there's lots more that I could say, but as the headmaster said, we're being very quick at this point so that there's lots of time for questions. So at this point, I will hand over to Mrs. Bartram, our head of boarding and pastoral.
那我们知道，现在时间是比较有限的，所以我这里先做简单的一个分享，然后我们把更多的时间留在问答环节，然后下面啊就欢迎我们负责社监的 Nicola 老师来为大家去分享寄宿方面的一些信息。
Thank you, Fraser. What I want to talk about as some of our successes, things that are going well, was something that we saw even on the first night when students got here. it's already clear to see that there is a community growing within our houses. And even on that first night, there was friendships formed. And I'm sure that your children have been telling you the same.
那在我们的这个开学的前3周啊，我已经看到了很多的学生已经融入了院舍的一个生活，并且交到了自己的朋友。相信在座的那个家长，也会有听到自己的孩子跟你们去分享他在寄宿的这个院舍当中的一些生活细节。
Another thing that is great to see so early on in the school opening is how well the students are taking to the school's ethos. Watching them coming into an assembly on a Wednesday morning with their bluers, their greyers and their hats on, walking in silently, the respect that the morning deserves just shows that they're getting those high expectations already.
然后呢，我们现在也是在培养学生的他的一个对于整体学校的理念和准则的一个熟悉的程度啊。然后刚才妮库拉老师也举了一些细节，然后包括像学生在走廊的一些表现啊，早上的一些这个晨起的准备的一些步骤啊。那目前我们都在学生的这个群体当中去传递这些概念。
Another thing that we've launched within the curriculum is our PSHE curriculum that looks at the social, health, moral aspect of a child's growth. We've started looking at digital citizenship, so how students can keep themselves safe online, how they can be respectful when they're talking to each other on social media, and just how they should use their devices in a respectful way.
那目前啊，我们也在院舍当中去进行 PSHE 的这样的一个课程啊，然后我也在之前分享到了家长群里面。那这一个课啊，其实它就是会培养学生在社交啊、心理啊，然后以及他在就是对自己的这个生活的规划啊等等方面的一些学习，然后让他们知道怎么样去确保自己的安全，怎么样去正确的去使用他身边的一些资源和设备等等，去让他去有一个更好的一个个人成长。
And another thing that's been great over the past few weeks is the weekend opportunities for the students are growing. So this week we have the swimming pool opening for the first time at a weekend for students to enjoy some time in the pool. We have had trips to the Lawsons down the road. They've had hikes out in the surrounding area. So there's been lots of activities happening at weekends.
然后周末啊，我们通常也都会给学生提供非常丰富的机会。然后像是本周末我们的泳池也开放了，然后学生可以在周末去进行一个游泳。然后之前的话呢，我们也有组织学生去远足啊，然后去户外去进行探索。所以我们的周末的活动机会还是很多的。
Now, looking at some things that we are that have been challenges for us and are developing. The first one is obviously the COVID-19 situation, where we were having some students that were having to isolate because of COVID-19. We are now on day 4 of no new cases, so we are working in the right direction. We've put procedures in place to prevent the spread of that, and I think we're coming out the end of it now.
那我们目前正在改善的，首当其冲的就是这个新冠病毒的一个情况了。那很开心，我们现在已经是第4天，完全没有新的病例再出现了。然后呢，以及我们现在也在逐步的去更加严格的去规定一些手机的使用规则。
Another thing we're developing is the phone policies, trying to get that right balance between having the students being able to contact you and you be able to contact them when you want to, but also restricting their time on devices so that they fully experience the whole Harrow package.
然后另外的话呢，就是我们家长目前学校已经收到了非常多的这个邮件和快递，然后学校也在制定物品邮寄方面的一个规则。
One of the challenges we're facing at the moment is the number of packages that students are being delivered. Please keep these packages to a minimum. They get opportunities to go and get snacks and they've got too many already. Please don't send in any kitchen appliances like kettles because it's not safe for them or they don't have room for them in their rooms. And please don't send in any medication because the students cannot keep those in their rooms. They have to be given to our nurses to dispense.
其中的话呢，就是真的是太多的零食了。然后呢，我们的这个学校的储物空间已经不够了。然后另外的话呢，就是在学生当中，这个分享零食其实还是有一定的风险的。然后最后的话就是也不要邮寄药品，因为学生他也不能去自己去保管这些药品，他需要把这些药品呢去给到我们的这个校医和护士去进行统一的管理。
And finally, very quickly, we are looking to further develop the weekend opportunities. Once we have our bigger bus on site, we'll be able to go on further afield from the school and hopefully some trips to Morioka. Things like going to the cinema would be great to have the students out doing those things.
那目前我们的这个交通工具还没有那么的足够。然后刚才老师有分享到说，一旦我们的这个大型的这个公共交通工具完备了之后的话呢，我们可能会带学生去到更远的地方，比如说像盛港市然后去有更多的一些周末活动的一个机会。
I'm now going to pass over to Mr. David Fitzgerald.
好，我们下面就到了这个课外拓展活动的 David 老师这一部分。
Hello, good evening. I'm delighted to speak to you about our broad and exciting co-curricular program that we have established and are continuing to develop.
那我们 David 老师下面就会分享一下我们的一个课外拓展活动目前顺利进行中的一些情况。
The first thing that was very apparent on meeting all of the new teachers and the students 3 weeks ago was how excited and motivated both teachers and students are to be part of a broad and exciting program of activities.
我很高兴就是在开学之初的话呢，与很多的老师和学生都有过一些交谈，他们对于课外拓展活动都是非常有兴趣的。
I'm delighted to say that our after-school activity program was up and running in the second week, including the co-curricular and super-curricular activities. And at the moment, we have a program of over 45 activities for students to enjoy.
那在第2周的时候我们的课后活动包括哈罗的体验活动已经开始了。然后目前我们当下这个时间，我们有提供大约45种的这样的一个课外活动的选择给到学生。
We've also launched again on week 2 our Harrow Appi Experience Academies that take place every Tuesday afternoon and every Saturday morning. For the academies for Green Season A, students are going to have the opportunity to undertake a range of activities that provides them with the skills that they need to make a success of their Appi education. This will include mountain biking, hiking with navigation, trail running, swimming, as well as campcraft and numerous other sports.
那我们也是在第2周开始的这个体验活动，通常是在每周4以及周6的时间去举行。然后呢，我们的哈罗体验活动在我们的绿色季节 A 开展。然后呢，学生们可以通过这个绿色季节 A 有很多的这个体验，包括像远足、像露营，然后像是这个爬山，然后户外骑行等等的这些课外的短途的探索活动。
Students and staff are also very excited that another cornerstone of our program, our expedition program, starts this weekend. And over the next few weekends, students will be going out in their boarding houses with their new friends to experience a night camping under canvas and undertaking lots of activities from the campsite for them to enjoy and be challenged and develop. But it's something that starts tomorrow and students are very excited about.
我们的学生马上在本周就要开始这个户外的这个 短途的探索活动了，然后相信很多家长们已经收到了学生的这个信息，然后我们的学生都是非常期待这样的一个过夜的一个露营的在我们的在这个森林当中的这样的一个活动。
Additionally, in the background, we are still underway preparing everything to launch our Alpine Academy for the white season and also get things in place for green season B when the snow melts and we have our usual academy program and again extending the range of activities that are available for students.
那我们现在也在同时准备着我们的白色季节，我们的滑雪运动项目，然后以及为明年的4月份的绿色季节 B 的这个活动去做充分的准备了。
Thank you, Judy. If we can go to the next slide. Thank you. There have also been some areas that we are focusing on and hoping to
David, I can't hear you. Sorry, you just I lost you for like 1 minute.
No problem. Can you hear me now, Judy?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Fantastic. So just saying that one of the areas of development is to continue to reach out to the external agencies to source more instructors, more opportunities, more locations to explore, to continue to develop the program.
那下面我们分享的就正在改善当中的第一块的话呢，就是我们也在和一些外部的一些合作商去有更多的探讨，然后将在未来去开设更多的不同地点的，然后不同环境的这样的课外拓展活动的机会。
Each season we will have a new after-school activity sign up for students. So for green season A, for the white season, and for green season B. And for the next season, for the white season, we are hoping to make that process a little bit more streamlined and simpler for students to be able to select their activities and understand which activities they have been able to undertake.
每个学期我们的学生都有重新去选择他想要参加的课外拓展活动的这个机会，然后同时我们目前也想要把这个报名的流程更加的去进行简化，让学生很容易可以选到自己想要体验的活动。
And finally, to you, our parents, it's very important that we work in close partnership between school, students, and parents. And moving forward, for every new season, parents will receive an activity booklet, which will give them time to understand the activities that are on offer, speak to your child about the activities before your child selects the activities for that new season. This will mean that you feel hopefully informed and have an opportunity to consult with your child before the activities are selected.
我们想要跟家长更紧密的这样的去合作，然后呢，在每一个季节开始之前，我们都会分享给家长一个小册子，然后这个册子的话呢，会有我们即将在这一个季节提供的所有的一些项目活动的一些内容，然后这样家长可以利用这个信息跟您的孩子做一个深入的沟通，然后呢，看一下什么样的活动是比较适合你们家的。
Thank you, Judy. And just to finish by saying that we are extremely excited about the program that we are offering and the program that we are going to develop over the next year. It's truly an exciting range of activities for students.
相信大家都感受到了我们 David 老师的热情了，然后他也希望在未来提供更多的这个课外拓展的活动的体验，可以给到我们的学生。
Right, I'll step in now. Thank you, Judy, lead on the operational matters. Mindful of time, I'll take 2 at a time. We've enjoyed settling into our facilities. The design is working extremely well. The flow within the academic areas, the hub and the library and the boarding houses are really feeling like a school.
我们校长说啊，现在目前啊，整个学校的它这个施工工作已经基本上是完毕了，然后整个学校啊，看起来也更像是一所学校了。
We launched the initial parent portal to get the school running. Many of you will have received an email to launch the permanent portal. We know there's been one or two issues with sign-in, so please just contact the school if you're having problems with that. But generally speaking, we feel that the means of communicating to you, our parent community, is going well.
然后我们呢也有专门的这个家长门户网站，然后希望我们的在读的学生家长可以很好的去使用我们的这个家长门户，然后获取更多的学校的信息，然后以及利用家长门户网站上面的沟通的工具。
Slightly delayed in some regards, but furniture fittings pretty much all arrived now. The school's feeling much fuller of lush furniture, books, educational equipment.
那因为刚开始开学之初啊，可能家长会觉得我们的图书馆的书比较少。那我们的校长说啊，其实我们还有一大部分的那个设施啊、配置和图书还在运送当中那目前的话，我们的整个学校也都慢慢的充盈起来了，我们的设施也更加的丰富了，图书也更加的多了。
And then it doesn't sound very exciting, but the systems and routines needed to run a big school are starting to work well. We've got, for example, an online booking system for facilities. Just this evening, we launched the staff portal. We've run the emergency drills, for earthquake and for fire. So those behind the scenes systems and routines are now operating well.
那目前啊，我们学校的一些系统和程序，比如说像是这个我们目前的这个员工门户，然后我们的防火的一些演习、地震的一些演习，目前也都是在有序的进行当中。
And then what we're working on to improve catering. The food is much better than it was. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we had a disastrous first week. It didn't help with the head chef having an argument with the manager and walking out the night before we opened the school. But we do feel we've got back up to, I currently award our contractors 7 out of 10. I'm not satisfied with 7 out of 10. We're still driving forward.
那第一个需要改善的就是饮食，然后呢，学校啊已经收到了很多家长的一个反馈，然后我可以跟大家说，目前啊饮食相比之前来说已经有所改善了，然后呢，那我们目前也在进一步的努力当中。
We still just got some little issues with the exterior landscaping, mainly around grass and grass growing in.
那目前啊，学校外部的景观可能主要就是草坪的一些问题，然后呢，我们也是在去进一步的去加强这方面的绿化。
And then there's the small matter of just settling a couple of staff, 1, 2, 3 staff, still in temporary accommodation, waiting to get into their permanent accommodation. Not something that need worry parents, but something we are working on behind the scenes.
那我们目前啊也在去安排我们的员工的一个住宿，现在有3个员工还在临时的这个宿舍当中，然后马上我们就会对他们有所安排。这一点的话呢，家长们也不用去担心。
So those are the updates, and of course you received the weekly newsletter this evening as well. But really the rest of this webinar is now handed over to you, our parents. I think Jude, if you come out of sharing the PowerPoint, so we have the images of all Harrow Appi colleagues on the screen, and let's hand over if you could introduce the chat function, or it might be Q&A we use actually, but if you could introduce Judy and we can start answering questions.
好的，我们的更新信息和改善信息啊，现在就已经介绍完成了。然后呢，现在就把这个时间啊交给各位家长们了。然后你们可以使用这个 Zoom 研讨会议的问答功能或者是聊天功能留下您的问题啊。然后呢，我们可以有一个集中的一个解答。 I suppose that most Chinese parents attended yesterday's webinar because some of them, they are really pretty good at Japanese and English.
Well, they're very loyal parents in that case, because last night we think we had 104 attendees, and I see that tonight we've got over 60. So those parents who attended last night and again this evening, and it's Friday evening, are truly showing loyalty to their new school, which we appreciate. I'll just talk briefly while we're waiting for those questions to come in. I can see one or two coming. Really want to emphasize, parents, how excited we are that we have our first expedition this weekend. But for any of you involved in working with young people, to launch a safe, well-planned and prepared for expedition in the third week of a new school is an adventure in itself. All looking good. The weather forecast promising. This is Lion's House, one of the girls' houses. We need to be very, very well prepared. There is some rain forecast for Sunday afternoon. We think that the girls will be back down before then. And Mr. Fitzgerald, there are some mosquitoes still up there. We'll need to make sure we have the bug spray.
Yes. Okay. We have 3 questions coming. The first, 可以具体说一下手机的使用规则吗？Can we specify the regulation of cell phone for students?
I'll hand over to Miss Bartram for that.
Students are allowed their phones for half an hour in the morning between 7 and 7:30, as long as they are dressed. They're also allowed it for half an hour before supper between 5 and 5:30. They are then, they go down to supper. They're not allowed their phones out at supper, and they're not allowed their phones during prep, our homework period. And then they're allowed it again for half an hour in the evening. That's for the school day. Do you want to translate that first, Judy?
OK， 那对于目前我们的手机使用规则可能比以前要严格一些了。那通常我们现在是在课外活动结束的时候会给到学生，但是的话呢，学生在使用晚餐以及在做作业的过程当中是不可以使用手机的。然后在作业完成了之后是可以有这个用手机可以跟家里面人去联系。
On the weekends, we are trying to actually bring the amount of time they're on devices down. So they are allowed it for a limited amount of time before lunch. They are also allowed it after dinner or supper for 2 hours in the evening.
那在周六周日通常我们的学生在午餐之前是可以用到手机的，然后以及在晚餐结束之后的大概2个小时的时间是可以使用他们的手机。
We also now launched 2 weeks ago our device zones within school. These are places where the students are allowed to have their devices out, so their laptops out around the school. We don't want students to just be on their devices, looking at their phones, walking around. We want them to be engaging with the people around them, but there are specific places they're allowed to use those devices.
然后目前我们也在校园规划一些这个电子设备的使用区域，然后学生可以在固定的区域去使用他们的一个电子设备。那我们不希望学生在走路的时候或者说是在这个很多人聚集的场所还低头看他们的手机。我们希望学生更多的去与人沟通和交流。
Students have to hand their phone in between 8:30 and 9 o'clock every night, and they should not have their phones overnight. If you're aware that your child has 2 phones, can you please allow our HMs to know this? Because we are currently doing room checks to find any additional phones that students might have.
那我们的话呢，就是也希望各位家长啊，如果你们知道学生有2个手机的这个情况，也希望你们及时去跟我们的舍监老师去沟通。然后呢，我们现在其实也会在进行一些例行的一些检查，然后呢，也有发现过类似的一些情况，然后学校啊也是很严格的在去规定这个手机的一个使用。
The same goes for Apple products like Apple Watches. These should be left with their phones overnight because we want to encourage them to have a good night's sleep. They shouldn't be using their devices, even to contact you. So if you're not hearing from them after 9 o'clock, please don't be worried. That's what we're intending because we want them to be able to relax and have a good night's sleep.
我们不希望学生啊在睡觉的时候携带任何的电子设备，然后呢，包括啊什么 iWatch 啊、iPad 呀、手机呀，我们希望学生有一个更加充分的一个睡眠啊，所以就是如果家长们有发现类似的情况，请你及时报告给学校哈。Okay, another question.
I just want to add something there, if I could, Judy. I want to be really clear to parents. We're trying to find the right balance. We are trying to provide your daughters and sons plenty of opportunity to interact, to contact you, for example. We're also at the end of a pandemic where these poor teenagers have spent far too much time looking at a screen, and we really are committed to engaging them in the real world, having spent so much time in the virtual world. So we're trying to find that balance, and sometimes that means we are being strict. Please work with us.
我们其实也在积极的去寻找啊学生电子设备啊和他的学习的一个平衡的时间，然后我们校长也是想让家长们更多的去配合一下学校，然后呢我们去就更好的去平衡我们的电子设备。Okay, what is the short-term and the long-term plan for Year 10 students prepare their IGCSE exams?
Okay, well, I can take this. So, I mean, certainly in the short term, we're currently going through a benchmarking process, really with all our year groups, but including with Year 10, getting to know the students, getting to understand their needs better, so that we can fully support them. And understandably, in the short term, that's what we're focusing on. Over the medium term, we will have 3, for example, in Year 10, we'll have 3 sets of learning review weeks, so exam style weeks, one in November, one in February, and one in May. Each of those will be accompanied by parents' evenings and also report cards where we'll give you progress on how the students are doing, and where we will discuss with you further measures we're putting in place to support them as required.
短期的话呢，我们是会根据这个英国的这个国家考试的一个基准，然后在短时间之内去了解到学生的一些个人的一些需求，然后以及去匹配，根据基准匹配给他们合适的课程。然后呢，那中期来看的话呢，我们会在is it January, May? To have
yeah, so we have learning review weeks, we call them, so test weeks or exam weeks. The first one is November.
Oh,
then
November.
Another in February. Then the big ones are the summer ones in May. These dates are in today's newsletter, actually, anyone who wants to have a look.
那我们在这个11月份、2月份和5月份都有规划了一些节点，然后大家也可以在家长门户网站上面去找到这些信息。然后中长期来看的话呢，我们会在这些时间去为学生去为您去提供这个学生的一个学习的反馈和学习的报告，然后呢也可以方便学校更好的去做一个规划，这样子。Okay, 那刚才这个校长回答的问题啊，就是关于这个Y10 学生的 IGCSE 学习的。Okay. Oh, this question is asking about, do we offer extra periods for the isolated students when they finish their isolating and they missed many courses? So do we have that plan for them to improve the academic?
Yes. So in the first instance, we would recommend any pupil who has missed out on their learning to make full use of the academic clinics, which run periods 9 each day. So formal lessons go up to period 8. We then have a reserved time in the middle of the afternoon after lessons, but before activities, where we run our catch-up clinics. So any pupil who feels they've been disadvantaged should absolutely be making use of those. Any pupil who needs further support on top of that should talk to their academic tutor or the head of department of the subject in question.
然后呢，关于就是在隔离期结束的孩子如何可以赶得上他的功课的，那我们校长说了，首先的话呢，就是需要去鼓励你的孩子，如果他有任何的问题，或者他觉得这个课程他没有跟上，那希望他去及时联系到他的一个学术的辅导老师，然后呢去反馈这一情况，并且利用好就是学校会为他去提供的，比如说像我们的period 9，或者说是一些prep 的一些时间，然后可以会为他去提供一些额外的辅导和支持的。这个是针对刚刚家长问到的，就是针对隔离期结束的孩子他的一些课程问题。OK， 这位家长问到的是就是我们学校有没有针对学生的一些心理的一些輔导，那就是 this parent is asking if we provide the psychological tutoring for students who have been isolated during the COVID and who were not satisfied with the food and who have homesick. Do we have the psychological tutoring?
So the HMs are the main port of call for that psychological support that students get. So even when students are isolating, the HMs, the AHMs, all of the boarding staff are the ones that are doing check-ins every hour during the day and in the evenings to make sure that students are okay, making sure that they are communicating with people. We've had the students, they're not stuck in their room the whole time when they're isolating. They are able to go out and have some exercise in their own bubble together. So they've been playing football, they've been having walks around the campus. They were also leaving their rooms for food, which was an early decision we made, not to have things delivered to their rooms, to have them grouped together in one place, having their meals. As you mentioned, their food was, to start with, we were disappointed, but now they're getting the full buffet style food that we've been getting with the other students are getting. So they're getting that nutritious, large portions of food that we need to get them healthy again.
首先啊，其实我还是会鼓励学生去主动找到你的舍监老师，或者是你的这个负责的这个学术的老师啊。当然，就是如果是关于这个心理啊、成长啊等方面的关怀问题，还是要找到你的舍监老师去进行主动的一个沟通和交流。然后刚刚尼古拉老师回复的呢，就是在隔离期的学生，其实我们也并不是说像国内一样完全让他就是圈在他的一个小的空间里边，我们也是允许孩子外出去拿一些食物啊、小吃，然后也会允许他们可以在一个校园的一个固定区域去活动啊，比如说散散步啊。其实这些都可以去缓解他的一个隔离期的这样的一个孤独感啊，然后包括他的一个课程的情况啊，其实也是在隔离期结束之后，我们也是鼓励他去跟老师去进行一个交流，然后有一些额外的需求都可以提给学校，然后去安排和满足他的一些个人的需求。这个就是关于这个辅导。那我们的回复是这样子的，然后家长会问到说我们的具体的一个分班的时间，然后以及我们的图书馆什么时候可以开始借书呢？Okay, the first question is about when will we allocate students into different groups in the English class, science class, and math class. And the second question is, parents heard that we do not allow the students borrow books from libraries. So the parents wondering, when will we open the library and let students could borrow some books to read in their dorm?
Okay, so well, to take the question about setting, so we have we use some setting in different ways to support our teaching. We want to make sure that pupils are getting the support and the stretch that's appropriate to them. At this point, we have used entrance test data to group our sets to an extent. However, like I said, we're currently going through a benchmarking process, getting to know the pupils better. It's very important to us that that each pupil is in the right place for him or for her. Where it's not all about tests, you know, the pupil's opinion, the family's opinion should be part of that as well. And we'd always want to have a conversation.
Okay. So when will we plan that?
Well, it's an ongoing.
This month or?
Sorry,
I lost you. I lost you 1 minute.
Oh, sorry.
So we will allocate them according to the benchmark process in this month or next month?
No, it's an ongoing process. It's not a mechanical thing where you know, a kind of an axe falls and we decide who is in which class. We're constantly looking at the situation, getting to know the pupils better. There will be some movement as we go through that process. It's happening just now, and will always be part of what we do as we work to get it right for every child.
OK. 那关于这个分班问题的话呢，目前学校也是在利用这个 benchmark 的一个基准，然后去针对每一个学生去进行评估，然后呢，我们也是再去给每一个学生去安排合适他们自己的一个学习的内容。然后很多家长关于这个学习的一些反馈的话呢，学校已经收到了，然后我们的老师也正在去解决这个学术的一些问题，就是每一个孩子之间的这个学术差距的一个问题。OK。 And the library question.
The library. Well, obviously, those those books are there to be borrowed. It's an example. It's an example of a system that is coming into being. It's very important to us that pupils are able to borrow those books, and I hope that will be possible very, very soon. I'm sure it will be.
好的。那目前的话，因为我们很多图书都在订购当中，然后呢，应该很快哈，就是我们的所有图书都归档啊，整理完毕了之后，就会开始这个让学生去有这样的一个借书的这个步骤了。OK，Oh yeah, here's about我先用let me say it in Chinese first. 那这位家长说啊，就是觉得我们9点钟以及9点半的时间睡觉还是太早了。然后呢，也希望就是我们的中国学生或者是就是我们的学生高年级一点的，可以把这个作息时间改一点哈。Okay, this question is about the bedtime. Because well, year 7, year 8, students are young and they don't need to attend any national test. So 9 p.m. bedtime is appropriate. But for year 9 and year 10 students, they only their bedtime is 9:30 p.m. So parents think it's too early for them to sleep. They need more time to study and prepare for the IGCSE and prepare for the A-level study. So they hope us could change the bedtime for the for year 9, year 10 students.
There is a lot of academic studies that show that students who are of teenage, adolescent years need more than 8 hours of sleep so their brain functions properly. We give a lot of time for students to study, so they get a designated hour and a half after school doing prep every single evening. They also get time at the weekends. Our year 10s actually get an extra 3 hours on top of that because they're doing their GCSE, IGCSE studies. So they get more than enough time to do extra study outside of school. But it is very important, and we firmly believe that our bedtimes are appropriate for the age we have.
OK， 其实这个关于睡觉时间的话呢，那我们的 Nicola 老师也解释了，其实像是在成长期的学生呢，他其实需要更加充足的一个睡眠时间，来去确保他的头脑可以在白天有一个更好的一个运作。然后呢，那因为我们是全寄宿学校嘛，所以每天其实学生的额外的学习时间都是充足的。然后包括我们的这个晚间给学生规划的一个学习时间，然后以及更高年级，它其实每一周都有额外的3个小时，会比低年级的同学更多的这样的一个学习规划和安排。所以的话呢，我们就是我们建议学生的睡眠时间，其实对于他们的身心成长来说都是合适的。OK，OK， 这位家长问到说，我们有计算机编程的课程，在这个超级课程项目或者是课外拓展或课程项目里边吗？然后想要继续学习。Okay, David, this question is for you. So parent is asking if we offer like computer programming class for students in the co-curriculum or super curriculum studies. Do we offer computer programming?
Thank you. So at present, as we said, we have 45 co-curricular and supercurricular after-school activities. We have robotics as part of our program, in Green Season A. But we're always seeking new opportunities from students or from parents to expand our offer. And if this is something that deems popular with the student body, then absolutely it's something we can look to introduce for the white season at the end of November.
OK， 那我们目前哈，在这个春夏季，就是在这个刚开始开学的这2个月，我们是不安排这个没有安排这个编程课程。然后刚才 David 老师说的话呢，应该会在白色季节开设这个课程。The parents OK。那这位家长会问到说，就是在我们的10月份的假期期间，我们对于学生的安排有哪些？然后呢，希望我们可以就是给到一个提前的一个规划。Okay, the parent have received the email from Nicola that we required them to reply if they will leave school during the October break. So they are asking what's the school's plan for students who will stay in the campus during the October break. Yeah, this is the question.
Yes, we've got a deadline for Sunday for letting us know if your child cannot return home, and we understand that's going to be the case for some of you. Some of you might actually still be in country, some of you might have a guardian in country, which is the option that we ask you to take if there is a possibility for students to leave campus. But at the moment, we are putting plans in together of what we're going to do with the students who can't return home. Those deals will be coming out, or more of those deals will be coming out this week when we've got more firm plans. Do you want to say any more than that at the moment, Mick?
Yeah, I think we can confirm that we are planning an excursion to last the whole week for students who can't return home, with an itinerary that would take the students, obviously accompanied by Harrow Appi staff, to the west of Japan, probably Hiroshima, then a cultural stop in Kyoto and finishing in Tokyo before returning to Hoku. So the plan would be to give a cultural excursion, a cultural opportunity to get to know Japan a little bit better for those students who can't return home.
好的，那我们呢，在这个10月份，对于不离校的学生，然后我们会有一个让他们去了解日本文，因为不能离校的学生大部分都是国际生，然后呢，我们会为他们去准备一个这个去了解日本文化的这样的一个项目，然后他们可以去参加，可以去到东京，可以去到一些其他的地方，然后具体的细节的话呢，到时候我们会在应该是在10月份吧，然后会发布给各位家长。
We should just strongly emphasize, we really encourage children to go home. So if we talk, I know this is an English-Chinese webinar, but many of you either will be in, many of the audience as parents either will be in Japan or will have close friends who could act as guardians for your daughter or son. So please, 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 if at all possible, we do want the children to go home for a week. We don't want to oversell the excursion. However, if it must be, we've got good plans we're putting in place to give the students a really valid experience during half term, as well as having a break from lessons.
OK， 我们也是希望就是在这个学校放假期间，如果您在日本是有家的，然后有监护人在日本，还是希望您可以离校哈。然后 another question is, do we organize and give support for students to take part in international science competitions like AMC 10, BPHO, and so on? The international competitions like science or math or any other subjects.
Yes, I mean this is very much part of our, our approach to the supercurricular. So entering competitions is a great way to make students really push their learning, to put them in competition with other high performing students, and to encourage them to be the best they possibly can. And it's absolutely something that we're going to be doing at this point. So we're talking about, I know Miss Chen, the head of maths, is looking at an international maths Olympiad, for example. The Japanese department have been looking at a haiku competition. Obviously, these are very early days, but I would expect lots of very exciting things like that to happen just as the months go by.
那我们的副校长也说了，就是学生啊，他去参加各种的这种国际竞赛是在我们的超级课程的一个范畴。然后呢，也希望就是非常有学术水平的这个学术很强的孩子哈，可以更多的去参与到我们的这个超级课程项目。然后呢，在参加的这个过程当中，我们也会有针对一些国际赛事的相应的一些准备哈，包括就刚才 Fraser 老师有提到的一些数学啊、科学的竞赛。
Judy, I'm just mindful of time. I think if you can try to judge maybe one more question, and then we'll wrap up. We will make an attempt to answer all questions, but we'll come to that at the end.
Okay. So we end now, or we choose?
You advise us. Have a look at the questions. Is there one group of, or one good question, or perhaps a theme that would be useful to address? We've covered quite a range of topics.
Okay. I think some question is just for personalized question, and
so those questions, if you could just forward to HMs. Translate that as well. If it's a very personal question, the HM is the person to address it to.
And 对，我现在看到就是有家长哈在评论区，比如说会有问到说，会有问到说，就是比如说这个日语，针对中国孩子的日语入门课程，然后您的孩子有一天是没有课外课的，然后以及会有问到说孩子的这个个子比较高，觉得这个床比较短的这种情况，然后呢，还有就是会有问到说这个自助餐然后我希望就是各位家长啊，就是可以，因为我们现在线上的这个 webinar 的这个研讨会时间有限，然后如果您有就是关于一些个性化的问题的话呢，一个是私信我，还有一个是其实你可以直接去问到您的那个社监。那等一下，其实我也会看一下，就是也有一些家长就是也是认识您的，然后我到时候私信您哈，然后我们的个人问题的话呢，我们就不在这边回复了。然后我们今天的这个 webinar 的时间呢也有超时了，然后我们在每个周五的7点半到8点半的时间都会为我们的这个家长举行这样的一个 webinar， 然后也希望大家可以就是后续再去参加，然后有一些没有回答到你的问题或者没有及时回复到您的问题，你可以在这个 webinar 再去提。Okay, Mick.
Thank you very much, Judy. I could listen to you speak Chinese all evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do know this is a journey. You've made a huge first step by entrusting your daughter and your son to us. I really want to emphasize the quality of the faculty, as well as the quality of the core service, the educational programs. However, you're still getting to know us, so we're very happy to answer your questions and to provide any information that's useful. As Judy's just said, the HMs are your key point of contact. However, we'll host another webinar, or 2 more webinars actually next week, Thursday evening, 6 p.m. China time, 7 p.m. Japan time, and Friday evening, then 7:30 China time, 8:30 Japan time. Let's see how we're doing then, because in between, I know that you as parents are learning more and more about the Harrow offer and our approach to education, and feeling more and more comfortable with us as you get to know us. But we are committed to continue this process of information providing. Last thing, I think you've said this, Judy, but we will just go through the questions. If there's any questions unanswered that are general questions, we'll answer them and put them on the parent portal. We're aiming to have that up on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, I will make at least 2. Same with Jane.
Yeah.
And yeah, with Chinese question and the English translation for you guys to overlook, and you could answer online, and then I'll follow to the parents later after this webinar. Okay. Thank you, Fraser, David, and Nicola, and Mick. Thank you for.
Big thank you to you,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And Vicky, thank you, and Megan, thank you.
Yeah,
ladies
thank
and gentlemen, have a good Friday evening. Thank you for your support. Our students, your children, are doing well.
Yeah. Okay. And see ya. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
好，那个各位家长，就还在线的家长哈，就是后续的话，我会把今天没有回答到的问题先，就是我后续都会导出来，然后导出来了之后呢，我们会集中的去有一个回复，然后到时候我再转给各位家长哈。那我们今天就到这里啦，拜拜。